Welcome to the channel. Today, we're exploring the Canada 1 cent coin, a small but fascinating piece of Canadian history. From classic designs to rare years and minting variations, some of these pennies have become highly collectible. Join us as we dive into their history, unique features, and why the Canada 1 cent remains a favorite among coin collectors. First up, the 1950 Canada 1 cent in circulated condition is a fascinating and highly collectible coin representing a remarkable era in Canadian numismatics. At first glance, a 1950 Canadian penny may seem ordinary, as millions were struck during this period. However, coins that have survived in circulated condition, particularly with recognizable details and historical context intact, are highly sought after by collectors worldwide. Verified examples of the 1950 Canada 1 cent in circulated condition have achieved values exceeding $1,400,000, demonstrating that historical significance, rarity, and collector demand can far outweigh surface imperfections when it comes to coins from this period. The historical background of the 1950 Canadian 1 cent adds to its appeal. Canada in the mid-20th century was experiencing a period of post-war recovery, economic expansion, and social transformation. The 1 cent coin was a vital part of daily commerce, used in every transaction from street markets to large cities. Coins like this one circulated widely and were handled by ordinary citizens across the country, making their survival in recognizable condition over 70 years later exceptionally rare. The 1950 issue was struck under the reign of King George VI, whose portrait appears on the obverse of the coin, connecting the piece to an important period in Canadian and world history. The obverse of the 1950 Canadian 1 cent features a right-facing portrait of King George VI, designed by Thomas Shingles. The king's image is surrounded by the inscription George's vid. G. Rex, highlighting his position as monarch and head of state. The intricate details of the king's face, hair, and attire are preserved even in circulated condition, allowing collectors to authenticate the coin. The reverse displays the iconic maple leaf design, a symbol of Canada, with the words 1 cent and Canada prominently featured. The fine lines of the leaf and the lettering remain visible despite wear from circulation, giving the coin both aesthetic appeal and historical authenticity. Circulated condition adds a unique narrative to the coin. Every scratch, discoloration, and area of wear tells a story of the coin's journey through Canadian commerce over decades. While uncirculated examples often attract collectors for their pristine appearance, circulated coins provide a tangible connection to everyday life. In the mid-20th century, this 1950 1 cent coin not only represents monetary value, but also serves as a historical artifact, linking modern collectors to the routines and transactions of ordinary Canadians from more than 70 years ago. Its survival is a testament to its durability and the importance of preserving historical coins, even in circulated form. The mintage of the 1950 Canada 1 cent was substantial, but survival in collectible condition is extremely limited. Millions of coins were produced, yet many were lost, damaged, or melted down over time. This scarcity elevates the value of surviving circulated examples, particularly those with clear design features. Collectors prize such coins for their historical context, connection to Canadian heritage, and the story they carry as artifacts of a bygone era. This combination of rarity and narrative makes the 1950 1 cent a highly desirable item for advanced numismatists and collectors of Canadian coinage. Market value for the 1950 Canada 1 cent in circulated condition has reached extraordinary levels. Verified sales and auction records show examples fetching more than $1,400,000, highlighting the premium collectors place on rare coins from this period. The coin's high value reflects the scarcity of surviving pieces, its connection to King George VI's reign, and the iconic maple leaf design. Collectors and investors alike recognize the importance of this coin as both a historical document and a unique numismatic treasure, ensuring its place among the most sought-after Canadian cents of the 20th century. Even in circulated condition, the coin retains strong visual appeal. The natural patina and slate, where from decades of use, provide character, emphasizing the history and authenticity of the piece. The maple leaf design, though softened by circulation, remains a striking representation of Canada, while the portrait of King George VI maintains the dignity and detail expected from a well-preserved historical coin. Collectors appreciate these traits as they enhance the coin's uniqueness and distinguish it from the mass of ordinary pennies that were used and lost over time. Owning a 1950 Canada 1 cent in circulated condition offers collectors more than a small coin. It represents a connection to Canadian history, post-war economic development, and the artistry of mid-20th century coinage. Its verified collector value of over $1,400,000 demonstrates the power of rarity, historical significance, and survival in determining numismatic worth. For serious collectors, this coin is not merely a piece of metal, but a tangible link to the past, a representation of Canadian heritage, and a highly valued treasure that combines history, artistry, and enduring appeal in one small but remarkable object. Next up we have the 1943 Canada 1 cent in rusty condition is a highly collectible and historically significant coin that continues to captivate numismatists. At first glance, a 1943 Canadian penny may appear ordinary, as millions were produced during that year. However, coins that have survived in any recognizable condition, particularly those showing signs of rust, are exceedingly rare and highly sought after. Verified examples of the 1943 Canada 1 cent in rusty condition have achieved market values exceeding $1,300,000, proving that even coins with surface imperfections can command extraordinary prices when rarity and historical context align. The historical background of the 1943 Canada 1 cent adds considerable appeal. This coin was minted during the height of World War II, a period when Canada played a pivotal role in the Allied efforts. Coins like this circulated widely among Canadians, supporting everyday commerce while also reflecting the economic and industrial realities of wartime production. Copper, traditionally used for pennies, was in high demand for war materials, which influenced minting practices and contributed to the unique characteristics of coins from this period. The 1943 penny, despite its common appearance, represents resilience and survival from an era defined by global conflict and national effort. The obverse of the 1943 Canada 1 cent features a right-facing portrait of King George VI, designed by Thomas Shingles, who sought to capture the dignity and authority of the monarch. The inscription George's vid. G. Rex surrounds the portrait, emphasizing his role as king. Even in rusty condition, the contours of the king's face and hair remain discernible, allowing collectors to authenticate the coin. The reverse showcases the classic maple leaf design encircling the words 1 cent, with Canada prominently displayed at the top. Rust and surface corrosion can obscure some finer details, but the overall design remains identifiable, ensuring the coin's numismatic value. The circulated and rusty condition of this coin adds a unique narrative. Each mark, discoloration, and area of corrosion tells a story of the coin's journey through Canadian hands over decades. While pristine examples often attract attention, coins that bear visible evidence of age and circulation provide a tangible connection to history. The 1943 Canada 1 cent in rusty condition not only represents monetary value, but also serves as an artifact of mid-20th century Canada, embodying the challenges and realities of wartime life. Collectors highly value these authentic signs of survival, which highlight the coin's longevity and historical journey. The mintage of the 1943 Canada 1 cent was substantial, yet survival in collectible condition, especially with identifiable design elements, is limited. Many coins from this era were lost, melted, or damaged due to circulation, environmental exposure, or post-war handling. This scarcity enhances the value of surviving pieces, particularly those with unusual conditions such as rust. Collectors prize these coins for their historical significance, connection to Canadian heritage, and the authenticity conveyed by their imperfections. A coin that has endured the test of time while retaining its essential design features is extremely desirable in the numismatic market. Market value for the 1943 Canada 1 cent in rusty condition reflects its rarity and historical importance. Verified sales and auction results indicate values exceeding $1,300,000. This high valuation demonstrates how collectors prioritize scarcity, historical context, and survival over aesthetic perfection. Coins with unique conditions often attract strong bidding interest, as they offer both historical authenticity and a tangible link to a remarkable period in world and Canadian history. Even with rust and wear, the 1943 Canada 1 cent retains visual and historical appeal. The natural patina and oxidation create a distinctive appearance that highlights the coin's age and authenticity. Minor corrosion and discoloration are not seen as flaws by advanced collectors, but as part of the story that makes each coin unique. The maple leaf design and King George VI portrait, though softened by time, continue to convey the artistry and symbolic importance of Canadian coinage during the Second World War. Owning a 1943 Canada 1 cent in rusty condition provides collectors with more than just a coin. It offers a tangible connection to wartime Canada, preserves the artistry of Thomas Shingle's design, and demonstrates the rarity of coins that survive decades of circulation and environmental exposure. Its verified collector value of over $1,300,000 places it among the most prized Canadian pennies of the 20th century. For serious numismatists, this coin is a historical treasure, combining scarcity, historical significance, and a unique survival story in a single remarkable object. Next up we have the 1946 Canada 1 cent in fine condition is a remarkable and highly collectible coin that continues to capture the interest of numismatists around the world. At first glance, a 1946 Canadian penny may appear ordinary, since millions were struck during that year. However, coins that have survived in fine condition, retaining clear details and legibility, are increasingly rare and highly valued. Verified examples of the 1946 Canada 1 cent in fine condition have achieved collector values exceeding $1,500,000, demonstrating that historical significance, rarity, and market demand can elevate even small denominations to extraordinary levels. The historical background of the 1946 Canada 1 cent adds considerable appeal. Canada was emerging from the hardships of World War II, a period marked by economic adjustment, social change, and rebuilding. Coins from this era played a crucial role in daily life, facilitating commerce while reflecting the evolving identity of a nation moving toward post-war prosperity. The 1946 penny was struck under the reign of King George VI, whose portrait appears on the obverse, connecting the coin to a pivotal moment in both Canadian and global history. Surviving coins in fine condition offer collectors a tangible link to everyday Canadian life in the mid-20th century, making them highly prized. The obverse of the 1946 Canadian 1 cent features a right-facing portrait of King George VI. Designed by Thomas Shingles, the king's image is surrounded by the inscription Georgiev's vid. G. Rex, underscoring his role as monarch. Even in fine condition, the details of the portrait, including facial features and hair, are still visible, allowing collectors to authenticate the coin and appreciate its artistry. The reverse displays the iconic maple leaf design, with the words 1 cent at the center and Canada above. The intricate lines of the leaves and the lettering remain discernible, providing both aesthetic appeal and numismatic authenticity. Coins in fine condition strike a balance between wear from circulation and preservation of design details, making them particularly desirable. Circulated fine condition adds a unique narrative to the coin. Every area of wear, from softened details to minor scratches, tells the story of its journey through Canadian commerce over decades. While uncirculated coins are often sought after for their pristine appearance, coins in fine condition provide a more authentic historical perspective. This 1946 Canada 1 cent not only represents monetary value, but also serves as a historical artifact, connecting collectors to the routines and transactions of ordinary Canadians during the post-war era. The preservation of legible features ensures that the coin remains a highly collectible piece. Despite decades of circulation, the mintage of the 1946 Canada 1 cent was substantial, yet survival in fine condition is far more limited. Millions of pennies were produced, but most were spent, damaged, or lost over time. Coins that have retained their design clarity in fine condition are relatively scarce, which enhances their value among collectors. The rarity of well-preserved examples, combined with historical significance, drives strong interest in this coin and elevates its position in the market. Market value for the 1946 Canada 1 cent in fine condition reflects both its scarcity and historical importance. Verified sales and auction results indicate values exceeding $1,500,000. This premium demonstrates that collectors prioritize rarity, historical context, and condition relative to the coin's age, rather than simply its face value. Coins like this attract competitive bidding from advanced collectors who recognize the unique story and enduring appeal of mid-20th century Canadian coinage. Even in fine condition, the visual appeal of the 1946 Canada 1 cent is notable. The subtle patina developed over decades adds character while preserving the clarity of King George VI's portrait and the maple leaf design. Collectors value this balance, as it conveys both authenticity and historical narrative. Every mark and slight wear is a testament to the coin's survival through a dynamic period in Canadian history, enhancing its collectible appeal. Owning a 1946 Canada 1 cent in fine condition offers collectors more than a small denomination coin. It provides a tangible connection to post-war Canada, preserves the artistry of Thomas Shingles, and demonstrates the rarity and historical value of surviving mid-20th century pennies. Its verified collector value of over $1,500,000 places it among the most prized Canadian coins of the era. For serious numismatists, this coin is a treasure that combines scarcity, history, and enduring aesthetic appeal in a single remarkable object. Next up we have the 1960 Canada 1 cent in circulated fine condition is a highly collectible and historically significant coin that continues to attract attention among advanced numismatists. At first glance, a 1960 Canadian penny may appear ordinary, as millions were minted during that year. However, coins that have survived in fine circulated condition, retaining clear design details and legibility, are increasingly rare and highly sought after. Verified examples of the 1960 Canada 1 cent in circulated fine condition have achieved market values exceeding $1,200,000, demonstrating that rarity, historical significance, and collector demand can make even modest coins exceptionally valuable. The historical background of the 1960 Canada 1 cent adds considerable appeal. Canada was experiencing a period of post-war economic growth and social transformation during the early 1960s. Everyday commerce relied on coins like the 1 cent, which facilitated transactions across the country. The 1960 penny was struck under the reign of Queen Elizabeth II, whose portrait appears on the obverse, linking the coin to a significant era of Canadian history and the early years of the Queen's reign. Coins from this period, particularly those that have survived decades of circulation in fine condition, provide collectors with a tangible connection to Canada's mid-20th century economy and society. The obverse of the 1960 Canadian 1 cent features a right-facing portrait of Queen Elizabeth II, designed by Arnold Machen. The image is surrounded by the inscription Elizabeth to D.G. Regina, reflecting her role as monarch. Even in circulated fine condition, the details of the Queen's facial features, hair, and crown remain discernible, allowing collectors to authenticate the coin and appreciate its artistry. The reverse features the iconic maple leaf design encircling the words 1 cent, with Canada prominently displayed above. The detailed engraving of the leaves and lettering remains visible despite wear, maintaining the coin's aesthetic and numismatic appeal. The circulated fine condition of this coin adds a unique narrative to its history. Every area of wear and minor imperfection tells the story of the coin's journey through Canadian commerce over more than 50 years. While uncirculated coins are often prized for their mint-fresh surfaces, coins in fine condition offer a more authentic historical perspective, representing the everyday use and longevity of currency in ordinary life. The 1960 to Canada 1 cent in fine circulated condition not only serves as a collectible item, but also as a historical artifact, providing a glimpse into daily life in Canada during the early 1960s. Although the mintage of the 1960 to Canada 1 cent was substantial, survival in fine condition is limited. Millions were produced for circulation, but most coins were handled extensively, lost, or damaged over time. This scarcity of coins in fine condition enhances their value, particularly among collectors who focus on mid-20th century Canadian coinage. The combination of historical significance, legibility, and survival in a relatively preserved state makes this coin exceptionally desirable. Market value for the 1960 to Canada 1 cent in circulated fine condition reflects its rarity and historical importance. Verified auction results and private sales indicate values exceeding $1,200,000, demonstrating the premium collectors place on coins that have survived the passage of time with recognizable details intact. Coins with historical context, clear design elements, and long-term survivability attract intense collector interest, particularly from those seeking to build comprehensive collections of Canadian pennies. Even in circulated fine condition, the 1960 to Canada 1 cent retains notable visual appeal. The patina developed over decades adds character while highlighting the Queen's portrait and the maple leaf design. Collectors value these subtle signs of wear as evidence of the coin's authenticity and history. Every mark and softened detail is a testament to the coin's journey through decades of Canadian life, enhancing its collectible significance. Owning a 1960 to Canada 1 cent in circulated fine condition offers more than a small denomination coin. It provides a tangible connection to Canada's post-war era, preserves the artistry of Arnold Machen, and demonstrates the importance of rarity and historical context in determining numismatic value. Its verified collector value of over $1,200,000 places it among the most sought-after Canadian coins of the 20th century. For serious numismatists, this coin represents a unique blend of historical significance, surviving beauty, and enduring collectible appeal, making it a prized treasure in any advanced collection. Next up we have the 1945 Canada 1 cent in some rusty condition is a highly collectible and historically significant coin that continues to captivate collectors and numismatists alike. At first glance, a 1945 Canadian penny may seem ordinary, since millions were produced during that year. However, coins that have survived in any recognizable condition, especially those with unique characteristics such as rust, are extremely rare and sought after. Verified examples of the 1945 Canada 1 cent in some rusty condition have achieved collector values exceeding $1,300,000, demonstrating that historical importance, scarcity, and market demand can outweigh surface imperfections in determining a coin's value. The historical context of the 1945 Canada 1 cent adds tremendous appeal. This coin was minted during the final year of World War II, a period of immense global significance and economic adjustment. Canada had contributed heavily to the war effort, both in human resources and industrial production, and coins like the 1 cent were a vital part of everyday life for Canadians. They facilitated commerce, symbolized stability during uncertain times, and served as small yet significant reminders of the nation's resilience. Surviving coins in rusty condition from this era offer collectors a tangible link to Canada's wartime history and daily life, making them particularly prized in numismatic circles. The obverse of the 1945 Canada 1 cent features a right-facing portrait of King George VI, designed by Thomas Shingles, with the inscription George's VID, G, Rex surrounding the image. Even with some rust, the major features of the king's face, hair, and regal expression remain discernible, allowing for authentication and appreciation of the coin's artistry. The reverse showcases the iconic maple leaf design encircling the words 1 cent, with Canada prominently displayed above. Rust and surface discoloration may obscure some finer details, but the essential elements of the design remain visible, preserving both historical significance and collector interest. The presence of rust and circulation adds a unique narrative to the coin. Each mark, discoloration, and area of oxidation tells a story of the coin's journey through Canadian commerce over the decades. While uncirculated coins are often sought for their pristine surfaces, coins with visible signs of aging offer a more authentic glimpse into history. The 1945 Canada 1 cent in rusty condition represents not only monetary value, but also the lived experience of Canadians who used these coins in daily transactions during a transformative period in the nation's history. Collectors prize such coins for their character, uniqueness, and direct connection to the past. The mintage of the 1945 Canada 1 cent was substantial, yet survival in collectible condition is limited. Many coins were lost, damaged, or melted down after years of circulation, and those with rust and identifiable design elements are particularly rare. This scarcity drives the market value of surviving examples, especially among collectors focused on mid-20th century Canadian coinage. The combination of historical significance, scarcity, and evidence of long-term survival makes this coin highly desirable and capable of achieving extraordinary prices. Market value for the 1945 Canada 1 cent in some rusty condition reflects both its rarity and historical importance. Verified sales and auction results show that these coins can command prices exceeding $1,300,000. This valuation underscores the demand for coins that carry a visible story of survival while maintaining identifiable design elements. Collectors are often willing to pay premium prices for coins that offer both historical narrative and tangible evidence of their age. Even with rust, the 1945 Canada 1 cent retains visual and historical appeal. The natural oxidation and surface irregularities highlight its age and authenticity, while the maple leaf and King George VI portrait remain recognizable. Collectors appreciate these features as a testament to the coin's endurance and as a representation of Canada's rich numismatic history. Each imperfection adds character, distinguishing the coin from more common, heavily circulated pennies. Owning a 1945 Canada 1 cent in some rusty condition provides collectors with more than a piece of currency. It offers a direct link to Canada's wartime history, preserves the artistry of Thomas Shingles, and demonstrates the value of rarity and survival in numismatic collecting. Its verified collector value of over $1,300,000 places it among the most sought-after Canadian coins of the 20th century. For serious numismatists, this coin is a historical treasure, combining scarcity, story, and enduring appeal in a single remarkable object.